Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza Creates. Thank you for joining me today. So I've got a little project that's inspired by both Tracie Fox and Dasher Dave. So Tracie this morning, I don't know when you'll see this, but in the morning of me filming this, did a little project with the foil tops of her disposable contact lenses, and that made me run downstairs because I had just finished one of my blister packs of some medication that I take. So I fished it out the bin and thought, let's do something with this. The blister pack holds a week's worth, and so it has a gap for 8, and one of them's flat. So I thought, oh, I could do that embossing bit on that. I haven't done it, as you can see. I might do it. I'll probably do it. Depends how much time this lot takes. And then I thought, oh, what can I do with this? Now, I'm gonna rip one apart. And so what I did was, they're kind of domed normally. So I thought, well, let's get the dome shape back, and then I might be able to emboss on. That was my thoughts. So I kind of used, you know, the blunt end of this to get me dome back. I was like, yeah. But if I put that through an embossing folder, it's just going to squish like that. I don't think it's necessarily going to be that great. So then I thought, oh, what could I do with that? And then I thought, oh, I remember. And I looked up on my shelf, and I've got this bottle of resin, which I bought after watching Dasher Dave do something with this resin. And I thought, oh, maybe I can do something with this and make some sort of brooch or something. So this is what I did. Let me zoom in a bit so you can see these next few little items. There we go. So I made that. I had a little dragonfly charm, and I set it in the resin, and I've sort of used alcohol on it so that it looks old. Now, can anybody spot my little mistake with this one? I got nowhere to attach it to anything. It's got no hole in it, so that was a bit of a duh. So then I made a second one. So I pierced a hole in this and put an eyelet in it before I set the resin. And so now it's got a little hole in the top, so I can have it as a dangle somewhere, either as, probably be a dangle actually, in some way, shape or form. Can't really do much with that one. Can't really attach that to anything. And then I thought, I really wanted it to go that way, but the dragonflies I've got won't fit that way. So I thought, what could I do to make it fit that way? And I was thinking of those sort of like cameo brooches that people used to wear. And so I created that. And you can just see, it's not, I mean, a cameo is normally a silhouette, but that I thought of more like a locket here. Half a locket, maybe a broken locket, somebody's mother, daughter, sweetheart in there. So that's what I did. So I really like how they've turned out. So I'm going to show you how I did it. So I'm going to zoom back out now, so we've got a bit more space for you to see what I'm doing. I think you might need might be a little bit closer than normal for this. So you can see that I took me ovals. So this medication, some people might be on similar. It's something I take to protect my stomach against the harmful effects of other medication that I take. It's nuts in it. you prescribe something to help you, but it causes side effects. So then you have to have another drug to counteract those side effects. So I take 2 drugs that are this one and another drug to take away the side effects of another drug that I take. Happy days. So what I end up with, you've got one side's thicker than the other. So that was the side that I put the eyelet in. So I'll do, so I just put my visor down so I can actually see. So I'm just making me hole, hoping I haven't gone too close to the edge, and then made a hole on this side for the dragonfly one. There we go. Kind of hoping that's in the middle, and I attached it before I then did anything else, because I'm then going to sort of colour it. So I just used me silver eyelets because I'm dyeing it all with alcohol ink, so that was all fine. So stick one of them in there. So I do like doing project. I don't know where I was looking for my tweezers, can't see them. I do love a project that uses rubbish. And that was what Tracie was saying. She was thinking of different projects that uses junk. I did a whole journal at the beginning of the year just using the junk I got at Christmas. So on Christmas Day, I usually give myself a little, usually one of the gift bags or something that I have, and that's like, right, that's how much junk I can take away from Christmas Day wrapping. And then what I did in January was I made a little traveller's notebook out of it, which I then took on holiday in March to record my holiday. I've never done that. Took it away, never did it yet. There we go. So give that a squeeze. So that is now ready. There we go. Liking that. So what I did, don't need that now, you can go away. So these are one of my glass dishes. You get a free pudding every time you buy one of these glass dishes. So I've got oodles of them. So these are my little dragonflies. I bought them because I thought, oh, they make great charms, but they don't have any holes in them. So yeah, they're not really, there weren't really much cop for that. So I thought, oh, this would be ideal. So I just put, you can see from there, I just dropped on some blue and some green sort of colour on it to make it look a bit more dragonfly-y. Although once it's under that resin that I then coloured, you can't really tell. So what we're going to do with this is I'm going to colour it, she says, reaching in the little mixed media trolley for the colours I'm looking for. I have got ginger and I should have latte. Jez, you had it just 2 seconds ago. It's because you missed the box. There we go. Right, so I'm using, got latte and I've got ginger. So I just put some latte on the inside so that it was a bit lighter, and I had a little paintbrush, there it is, just to move it around very brave. I did all this without any gloves. I haven't got too inky, she says. We will be taking, yeah, managed to get it on me then, didn't before. Not so bothered about the edges too much because we will be cutting those down. But that's what I did, and then I just left them to dry before I did the next bit. So I'm just going to leave them to one side, and we've got our dragonfly. So now we need our person. So I've got these cabinet cards. I did 9 to a sheet, and then I printed them 4 to a sheet, and sort of picked out one of these. So that's her in there. So I'm going to get another one, and I haven't got an oval, so I've got a 3/4 inch punch. I was forgetting what I had. I might do I wasn't sure, because I've got an inkjet printer. I wasn't sure if the ink would run, so it was an experiment, and I was willing to have it all go wrong. Yeah, that's coming a bit. So I've just got nice little picture there, and then I kind of went in a bit to try and create a sort of oval. And I didn't think it had to be perfect. I always remember my mum had a locket, and in the locket she had a picture and she'd like hand cut it to fit in, so it didn't fit properly. It was all cut weirdly, but it was fine. Right, let me just, it was, I guess that's what you did. You didn't have punches back then to put things on, so that will fit in. Yeah, happy with that. And then I just put a bit of ink around it. I thought, why not? I was going to put a man in this one, but I didn't shrink the male photos down quite so far, so that was that really. So have these now dried. Don't take long for alcohol to dry. Yep, they're done. They are done. Right, so I'm gonna bring this in just in case I'm a bit messy. Right, so we're gonna put our dragonfly in that one, and we're going to put our little woman in that one. So I'm going to get out the resin. I'll put a link to Dash of Dave's video, because he did quite a few projects with this resin, and he's got a link to, he's got his own sort of affiliate link to Amazon, which is what I followed to get this, and that kind of makes no difference to you buying it, but it does help. It does help us creators a bit. I don't have one, so I got no link for you to follow, so you can follow his, share the love. So I just poured it in. There we go. and then on this one I'll put a little bit in first so that I had something for this to sit on to get it in place. And then I think that one's slightly too wide, but it'll do. It will do. Put a bit more up there. If you get a bubble, just take a pin, burst it. Burst your bubble. I do want, I'm going to take a pin now. I do want that to be a little bit over. And you could put all sorts in these. These are just the two things that I had to do. Right, I'm zooming out again. And this is when I bring in a little UV light. If you go on to Dave and you follow his link, one of the links takes you to the resin and a little heat lamp, and one of them just takes you to the resin if you happen to already have a heat lamp. I already had one of these because in lockdown I learnt to gel my nails. Now the problem is that doesn't activate it, so I don't want to stick my hand in, but if I just stuck my scissors in, it activated it. You can see the light there, and this does it on 1.5 minutes. So I did it twice to sort of set it, and that was enough. So that's just in there. I think the one that you get with the resin is a little tiny one. My sister's got one. She made a load of key rings as like table favours, and so she bought the resin with a heat lamp and did that. You can get little moulds for them and things, and Dave did some with bottle tops, you know, beer bottle tops as well, and just filled them with all sorts, which I intend to do. But I just, as I say, had this idea with watching Tracie, and thought I'm going to give that a whirl first, and so combine the two, and I do. It's the shape of this medication blister that made me think of this. So it's just a matter of looking at your rubbish and seeing what you might want to make out of it. Now this is when you realise that 1.5 minutes is an awful long time. So I'm gonna shut up now, and I'm gonna stop the video, and then we'll start it again when it's done. Right, so that's that finished. So I'm just gonna pull these out and check if they're done. Yep, that's done. Careful, they might be hot. Yep, that's done. So we'll move you out of the way. So I might zoom you in again for the next bit, so you can see what I'm doing. So we've got her in there, and we've got a little dragonfly in there. So what I did was I trimmed around the oval. I didn't do this before because it's really handy to have something to grab hold of when you're putting it in and out of the UV lamp. And then you get to the bit where you've got the eyelet and you want to make sure you leave a margin around that. Okay, so that's that gone round. And then I got a little metal spatula thing, and I just went round and sort of bent it back. So it's kind of like it had a little bit of a lip that you kind of would have, it probably would have bent the other way to be fair, but I'm doing it this way. And careful round the eyelet. It's really soft, it's only foil, it's not metal. So, I mean, you could do anything. You could do the side of your scissors, would bend them over as well, if you don't have a little metal spatula. Matter of fact, it's working a bit better. I think the spatula was a bit too soft. So that's what we're looking like from the front now. And so it looks a bit battered, but it would be, it's old. And then that's going back in there. And then I took the ginger, which is darker, and sprinkled that on the back. A couple of little drops, and then just smush it around a bit so that it's covered. There we go, that's that one done. And then we repeat, eat, sleep, repeat for this one. There we go. And then we'll just fold them all in. I mean, I imagine if you haven't got alcohol inks, you could use alcohol pens. Tracie coloured hers with, she had some wax that she coloured her charms with. It's like, oh, I've not seen that before. That went on and then she heated it and it became permanent when it was heated. I was like, oh, that's fancy. Another thing to look up and spend my money on. Sometimes you watch videos and you think, oh, I need to buy that. Well, you don't actually. Just look, see if you've got other things that you could use. I've got quite a few alcohol inks because in January, a local craft store that was in a garden centre was closing down and they had 75% off everything. So I just grabbed what was left of all the alcohol inks. So I got about 5. Well, they were about £1. So that's why I've got them. First, I bought 2. Again, Tracie Fox, thank you. when she was colouring charms, so I bought a black and an orange to sort of do that, to make them look sort of rusted. And then I went back and so I got these all in the sale. So that's her done. And then I'll do the same thing, sticking her in there with a bit of ginger. And it kind of goes in the creases where we sort of bent it back. It sort of collects in there as well, which I quite like. Gives it a bit of an authentic look of well, I don't know, would metal be darker where it didn't get light? Probably not, to be fair, but there we go. So we'll just leave that for a minute to dry. Doesn't take long. And then I might turn my attention now to my embossing folders. Now, Tracie had an amazing embossing folder that was a bingo card. Absolutely envious of that, but don't have it. But I had a little look at my embossing folders. I've got some buttons. I've got 2, in fact. So that's me forgetting I've got that one and bought that one, because we do that as well. How many times have you bought the same thing more than once? I'm sure I'm not the only one. Now, these aren't very big, so sort of choose the button. I think they would look quite nice. Could like turn them brass with that ginger. So decide which button I want to do. That one's not quite big enough, so it has to be smaller than that. So, oh, what about that one? He's interesting. Yeah, so I might, oh, actually, I'm going to put him on that one. I might be clever, get more than one if I go there. And then get one of these, because it will squish. So I'm going to go squish, just see what happens. Right, now that, oh, you weren't seeing that. So I've kind of done it, so I've got a button there and a button there, and behind that squishy mess is a button. No idea what we're going to get, but I'm going to just run that through my embossing machine. So I'm going to turn you off again, because unlike Tracie brought hers on camera, but mine's an electric one and it's plugged in over there, so it's not coming on camera. Right, so I think that was fairly successful. So these are the ones that squished down, and we can definitely see buttons there. And this is the flat piece, and we can see buttons there. I think it should be this way round, and I've managed to do it the side with the writing, but hey ho. Hey ho, I'm thinking 3/4 of an inch circle punch will probably be the one I want. Yeah, I think so. This is going to be hard now because of grabbing hold of it. There we go. So that one's worked. There, nice little button there. But now I might actually do that side, because that's something to sort of think about. If you've got any writing on it, I'm going to have to cut this one out. Oh, unless I do a little bit cut out with the 1/2 inch circle. A circle with a flower in it. Got a flat side. See what happens. It's got a flat side. I might change my mind on that one. So this is the squished. So it's not the, and it's slightly bigger than 3/4, half an inch is going to be too, I need the one in between. I need the one in between 1/2 and 3/4. Move it over a little bit. See what they look like. Right, now that one, I think we might lose some of that one. I think we might get away with that. Got a buzzy buzz. I was watching Dash and Dave, and he had a bee or a wasp in his room. He was not happy bunny, to be fair. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't have carried on crafting. I'd have been out of there looking for the spray. There we go. But that's just a fly buzzing. Because I've got my bedroom windows open. They're coming in. Right, I'll just help that one on its way. There we are. Squishy, squishy button. So I think they're okay. And then, so Tracie went over them with some alcohol ink, which I think I might do. I'm cutting this by hand because otherwise it's just not going to work. Tracie did some snowflakes as well, and I know I do have a snowflake embossing folder somewhere, but I couldn't find it when I was looking. I was just not looking in the right place, obviously, but yeah, there we go. Get rid of these. So this will be done now. So that's all dry there on the back. So I've got something else to do to those. So I'm going to pop these in here. You can buzz off, Mr. Buzz. Right, let's maybe do them different colours. So I've got green, I've got blue, I've got denim, celestial, I've got pitch black, and I've got sunset orange. Might do an orangey one. Let's just do a combo. Maybe do a combo. Stick that there. Green one. Denim. These were bought purely because that's what was in the shop and they were 75% off. No project in mind. Oh, that one. Oh, that one's pearl. Oh, I never knew that. It's got a little ball in it. Let's put a bit more on there. Oh, I can see it. It's all glistening. Oh, I like that. That's pretty. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. But it's got like glitter and stuff in it. It's lovely. Right, do that. pop over that blue there. And like that. Move that green around. And then the orange. Got a hint of all the other colours that happen to be on my brush. So there they are in there. So we'll leave them for a minute. So what I did, you might notice that they're a little bit darker than these because I put a little bit of the latte on it. To kind of give it a bit of an amber look was what I thought. And then with what's left on my brush, I'll just brush over the top of that one. And then what I did actually was I then wiped this so it wasn't too dark, so you could still see the picture. Right, let's put them away. Total inkiness. I don't know if you can see the little slightly shiny, it's pearlescent from that blue. Right, let's just tidy up a little bit here, by which time these bits might actually be dry. Wish I knew where me they're dry. Wish I knew where me tweezers were. Oh, that one's still proper wet under there. Right, so that's them. You could do both sides, and then Tracie just rubbed a bit of sanding paper on. I'm thinking of using an emery board. Well, I would if I could find one. There's one, but I've got a better one. Got a better one than that. So she just sort of roughed it up a little bit so it didn't look new. Like that. And then, can I get this out now? It is wet on the back. Don't particularly want pearlescent blue on me for the whole weekend. I like that. I wonder if, don't know if that would stay on there. Bit of Distress Oxide. Don't know if that would try and stay on. Might be better off with a bit of Stays On actually. That might work. Bit of Stays On. Oh, Stays On Saddle Brown even. Right, if I've got something I can use with that. Yeah. Don't know if actually black stays on with better on that orange one. Yeah, I think so. Oh, I love the smell of stays on. Smells of almonds. There we go. Might mix and match. That's my 2 wee projects. So Tracie Fox - Dave. Hope you like them. I'll take some close-up pictures of those so you can see them at the end. And yeah, I've enjoyed that. I've had a thoroughly enjoyable day. I did that, and I did another project which I filmed, which I don't know when it's going out. Might have already seen it when I made some new postcards look old as well. So proper inky now. Okay, thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you all again very, very soon.